Welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we have a lot of ground to cover. We are looking at 10 extraordinary tools that are completely redefining productivity in 2026. We're moving way beyond just asking a basic chatbot simple questions. What we're actually doing here is building a full-blown digital workforce. So I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture waking up on a Monday morning. Before you even pour that first cup of coffee, your entire week's worth of emails already perfectly organized. Those chaotic meeting notes from last Friday, summarized and filed. And a whole bunch of repetitive, mundane tasks are just quietly running in the background. And honestly, the best part? You didn't have to hire a single human assistant to pull this off. I mean, just a few years ago, that sounded like pure science fiction, right? But today, it is an absolute reality. The reality is, millions of people out there are still just tinkering with basic chatbots. They're barely scratching the surface. But the early adopters, they are building these incredible automated systems that are saving them over 20 hours every single week. These aren't just gimmicks or toys. These are practical, everyday platforms being used right now by entrepreneurs, developers, and creators to gain a massive, literal, game-changing productivity advantage. Here is the blueprint for your digital workforce. We're going to build this out department by department to make this massive shift totally manageable. We'll start with universal assistants, move to research specialists, step into the creative department, and finally look at automating the ecosystem. Okay, let's dive into this with Phase 1, Universal Assistants. These are basically your foundational all-purpose teammates. Now, everyone knows ChatGPT, sure, but today's version? It is a full-on execution engine, available 24/7. The real magic here isn't just its vast encyclopedia of knowledge, it's how it dramatically collapses the time it takes to go from a raw idea to a finished execution. Whether you need it to analyze complex spreadsheets, interpret dense charts, write code, or just brainstorm, it's like having a senior collaborator at your desk, accelerating your day-to-day operations like crazy. Next up, we have Gemini, which takes a slightly different but super powerful approach. Imagine just asking your AI to summarize your inbox, draft a quick response, and then instantly analyze a linked spreadsheet, all without you ever having to click away or jump between a dozen open tabs. Since it's deeply integrated directly into Google's ecosystem, it connects information seamlessly across multiple services. If your professional life already lives inside Google, this is absolutely your ultimate teammate. Moving right along to Phase 2, Research Specialists. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast in how we actually hunt for information now. Think about traditional search engines. They just give you a list of links, right? They basically force you to do all the heavy lifting, opening dozens of tabs, just to piece together a single fact. Well, Perplexity AI flips the script. It gives you structured answers. It combines real-time web research with conversational AI, delivering direct, fully fleshed out responses that are actually supported by clear, cited sources. It doesn't just replace searching. It completely transforms how we discover and fact-check information. But what happens when you're staring down a massive mountain of text? That is exactly where Claude shines. You see, a lot of AI models just kind of lose the plot when dealing with huge documents, but Claude was specifically built for this heavy lifting. It can analyze thousands of pages. I'm talking entire books, dense legal contracts, massive financial reports, while keeping perfect context of the whole thing. Work that would traditionally eat up an entire weekend of coffee-fueled reading, Claude handles it in seconds. It instantly highlights inconsistencies, summarizes key findings, and answers incredibly specific questions about the material. It's wild. Sometimes, though, you don't want broad knowledge from the entire internet. You want a dedicated expert on your specific private data. Enter NotebookLM. Think of this tool as your own personal librarian. Instead of scouring the public web, it learns directly from the trusted materials you upload. Your PDFs, your meeting transcripts, your internal company docs. It can instantly build tailored study guides, compare multiple documents, and even, get this, produce incredibly realistic podcast-style audio discussions based entirely on your files. It's tailored strictly to what you care about.
Welcome to Phase 3, the Creative Department.
And this brilliantly illustrates the incredible shift happening right now in software development. Programming is no longer just typing out syntax, it's a true collaboration. Let's look at Cursor. It isn't just a code editor with a fancy autocomplete feature. It actually understands your entire code base. Developers are constantly saying that using Cursor doesn't feel like using a tool at all. It feels like sitting next to a veteran teammate who can patiently explain unfamiliar code, instantly generate new features, and track down elusive bugs across massive sections of a project.
Over on the visual side, we have Midjourney. The evolution of AI image generation has been so rapid that Midjourney is literally replacing those hours you used to spend endlessly scrolling through generic stock photo sites. It generates highly detailed, cinematic, and totally photorealistic visuals tailored exactly to whatever is in your head. Whether you're mocking up marketing concepts, designing book covers, or building branding materials, these outputs don't just mimic art, they straight up rival professional digital artwork.
Now, video editing has traditionally been this massive hurdle, requiring super expensive software and years of technical know-how. But Runway? Runway is causing a complete revolution here. This platform dramatically accelerates the entire workflow. Creators can just seamlessly erase an unwanted object from a scene, generate entirely new B-roll clips from thin air, animate still photos, or add cinematic effects in just a fraction of the usual time. Projects that used to consume whole weekends, yeah, they're getting finished in minutes now.
To round out our creative studio, we absolutely need a voice. Professional voiceovers used to mean booking expensive studios and hiring voice actors. Well, ElevenLabs has completely disrupted the audio landscape. They produce highly natural, emotional, AI-generated speech. It captures rhythm, subtle inflections, and realistic pronunciations so perfectly that listeners honestly cannot tell they aren't hearing a professional human recording. For audiobooks, educational content, or localizing videos into different languages, it is an absolute game changer.
Finally, let's move into Phase 4, automating the ecosystem.
So, the crucial point is this. Now that we have these amazing departments, we need a manager to orchestrate the entire operation. Because honestly, the most valuable AI isn't necessarily the one that writes the prettiest sentence, it's the one that quietly grinds away for you while you're asleep. Enter N8N. This is intelligent workflow automation. It acts as the connective tissue, triggering multi-step workflows across hundreds of different apps. It can intercept an incoming email, trigger an AI to summarize it, update your database, and draft a tailored response, all without you lifting a single finger. It literally eliminates repetitive processes from your day.
And this brings us to a really major mindset shift. A lot of people have this misconception that eventually there's going to be one single magical AI tool that just does everything perfectly. Actually, scratch that. That's just not how it works. The real future of work lies in the AI ecosystem. It's all about creating a seamless, interconnected workflow where multiple specialized tools complement each other. It's about building an automated production pipeline that honestly would have seemed completely impossible just a short time ago.
Let's see how this builds into a massive productivity advantage in the real world. Imagine this 8-step master pipeline. First, a researcher gathers cutting-edge info using Perplexity. Then, NotebookLM organizes those hundreds of pages of data. Next, Claude steps in to analyze the really dense reports. After that, ChatGPT drafts a compelling final presentation based on Claude's analysis. Then, Midjourney generates the custom graphics. Runway edits a sleek promotional video to match. And ElevenLabs provides stunning, lifelike voiceover narration. And finally, N8N automates the entire publishing and distribution process. The data flows perfectly from raw initial research straight to a polished, published product without skipping a beat.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. Artificial intelligence is evolving faster than pretty much any technological shift in recent history. And the real advantage? It doesn't come from just knowing these tools are out there. It comes from understanding how to weave them together into connected workflows that absolutely multiply your productivity. The future won't belong to people who fear AI. It will belong to those who learn to collaborate with it. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one thought. Look closely at your own daily tasks, your own bottlenecks. How will you choose to collaborate with your new digital workforce tomorrow morning?